We got some lies that we need to sort out for this episode, don't we? What's up, everybody? It's your girl Bonnie Scotch. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. I wanted to bring you a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 16, episode, I want to say that it's 9. I want to say it's 9. It's fun. I'm going to have it right by the time I get the title up and everything like that. But anyway, before we get started on today's review, go ahead and hit the like button for me. When you hit the like button, it is a free way to support the channel and also let YouTube know that I am here and that you all are rocking with my commentary. So YouTube starts to shoot my content out to other viewers. I also have a membership. You can support my channel for $5 a month for just 1 cup of coffee every month. You can definitely go ahead and support your girl. By the way, do y'all like my crochet dress that I actually made this last weekend, and I'm trying to like get back to making a dress every week. I'm definitely starting a crochet channel, so be on the lookout for that really soon. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Before we fully get into today's episode, I just wanted to address something from last week's episode and also the last coverage that I did, which was Angela addressing the side baby rumor. I feel like something that I'm having an issue with is people in the comments, the viewership, having a hard time accepting when somebody that they like is doing something that's out of order. I'm seeing people change the narrative just because they like Angela. I like Angela too, but she does lie. She does give a little bit of questionable energy sometimes. I heard that she was running her own scams and schemes. I don't really see anybody talking about that.
Charles Oakley and Porsha Williams have in common? Well, if you ask the internet, they both married scammers from back in the day. Now, once upon an alleged time, there was a woman by the name of Angela Oakley. And before she went by Angela Oakley, she was known as Angela Dion Reed. And she worked as a financial analyst at Wachovia Bank. Y'all remember Wachovia? Well, while there, she processed a loan in the amount of $17,000. Now, why is this a problem, church? Well, the loan was in the name of Angela's cousin grandmama, and the grandmama say she ain't know nothing about the loan, okay? Now, $11,000 of the loan was apparently used to pay down Angela's own personal mortgage, and the remaining $6,000 was split between Angela and her cousin. Now, the loan was never repaid, and back in 2008, Wachovia wrote it off as a loss. Now, after an investigation by the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, or FINRA, they banned Angela for life, okay? And that prevents her from being associated with any FINRA member organizations. However, that don't seem to be stopping nothing over at Angela House, because on her Instagram, she describes herself as a finance and real estate mogul moving forward. Now, look, we all have a past. Some more colorful than others, okay? But Angela, girl, if you're going to be the truth teller around the Atlanta Housewives, just make sure that you spilling your own tea first, all right? Because thou who spilleth they own tea first gets to put their own spin on it. Now, y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this situation, and we'll talk later.
Mind you, I don't even care that Angela did this if it is true, okay? I really don't. Like, I'm all for black people having a listen, if you get your come up and you not robbing old folks and disabled people and whoever else, I don't care, get your money. But I'm just speaking to, I'm noticing that this is not even getting coverage. Like, everybody else is covering everything else about the girls, but I haven't really seen anybody covering this one like that. You know what I'm saying? Also, I feel like if you're going to be the bone collector, if you're going to be the messy one, if you're going to be airing everybody out, your shit got to be flawless. Or you got to be willing to spill your own tea. But Angela gives us a lot of half stories, right? And we've been pointing this out since the very beginning. Those first few episodes, we were like, Angela don't be telling us the full story. So now that she is reading Porsha, she is everybody's fave. And it's just like, we really got to be careful with that, right? It just seems as though when you don't like a person and somebody else goes against the person that you don't like, then all of a sudden they become the fan favorite. And I saw the same thing. I think Rodney pointed this out about Monique and Candace. Everybody was riding for Monique when she was going against Candace, and then she took her ass over to Love and Marriage DC, and nobody liked her. So it's just like, I just want us to be careful with that. Then when I call Angela out for the stuff that she does, it's like, oh, well, I like Angela. It's like, okay, we all like Angela. I like Angela too. I didn't say that I disliked her. I'm just speaking to what I see, and I don't understand why that's an issue, why everybody gets so defensive. Angela was talking about this side baby rumor on a radio station, and I was addressing some holes in her story, and I felt like she is insecure because that is the energy that she has given us, just based off how she acts on the show. Even the way she brought up the topic of what Porsha said, the way she was saying her words in between punches, even that came off a little bit insecure. Like, just say the words, you know what I'm saying? Like, get it out your mouth. Like, it was an odd way of bringing that up. And was it just me, y'all? What she said on Watch What Happens Live, when somebody asked her, did your man date Sheree? And she sat there and said, I think she dated him. Did they date or not? Like, nobody who is secure would say, oh, I think they dated. You would just stand in it like a real bitch and be like, yeah, they dated. I mean, everybody has a dating past. Everybody has a history. Like, it's no tea. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm concerned that I can't tell the truth in this space. And everybody is like jumping down in my comments to not only move the line, but actually change the narrative to suit what they feel about Angela. Just because you like Angela doesn't mean that I'm not going to tell the truth. I hate that it feels like it's becoming an echo chamber. We like Angela, so we can't be honest about the way she's conducting herself and about the way her marriage looks. I feel like I have done it, and I just want to be really mindful of that going forward, because I just want to do my best to give the most balanced review and opinion that I can have. Like, this is the whole point of commentary, I think, to have some semblance of balance in the way we talk about these things. Anyway, but let me just get through this review. And then y'all are saying, oh, well, obviously, production put her up to it. Any other production pet, we're holding them to the line. Sheree never ran away in a scene. Angela did, though. Angela kicked up that mess with Porsha, and then she ran away the next morning after Porsha said something that she didn't like. Ashley Darby, I can't stand her, but she never ran away. Whitney Rose never ran away. Anybody else who is production's puppet does not run away. So how it gets excused that Angela did it, oh, she just didn't want to have a fight with Porsha. If she's going to fight with Porsha behind that comment, she's insecure about the comment. Let's be real. Like, yeah. I just feel like if you give licks to somebody, you've got to be able to take them. Angela is just, giving out licks, and then she is running away when somebody says something that she doesn't like about her husband. I feel like somebody who's secure in their relationship with their husband, they would laugh it off. They'd be like, girl, you can try. And I just feel like that too. Like, if my husband is so easy to take, if my man is so easy to take, he wasn't really mine. So go ahead and do your best. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the episode. So we start the episode with Cynthia meeting up with the ladies. So in one scene, she's with Porsha. In another scene, she meets up with Shamia and Kelly. And in another scene, she meets up with Angela. Porsha says, I don't remember saying that I would sleep with her husband. She says, I would never sleep with anyone's husband.
A lie detector determined that was a lie.
Angela sent the girls a text saying, our morals and values don't align. And she said something about a fake ass sisterhood. I'm going to be honest with you, Angela. I have to question your values as well, because when you were on that radio station, you said that you were okay with your ex-husband or your first baby daddy having a side baby. So if you're okay with a side baby, obviously you are okay with side chicks. That's not outside the realm of possibility, because you are dating an NBA player. So I can only imagine what kind of allowances you'll give a famous man with a lot of money who pays for everything and funds your family's lifestyle as well. And that's a part of the reason why I didn't understand why she ran home to question Charles. It's like, If you would be okay with a side baby, then obviously you would be cool to let your man cheat in peace. Like, which one is it? We're not going to sit up here and act like women don't have arrangements with their athlete, or, if you're dating a man of wealth and prominence, I'm sure that there are a lot of liberties that these women give to these men. I'm not saying that Porsha was right for what she said. I'm just saying I kind of understand her responding in that way, right? If somebody's telling me, oh, you like to fuck people's man, I'd be like, then watch out for your man. Watch out for yours. That is the natural response. But it's not landing with Porsha because she already went in somebody's house, took a gift basket, drank up all their liquor, ate up all their food, and, weeks later was engaged to that lady's husband. Like, girl. So we have Kelly throwing a party for her dog Cha-Cha. Brittany comes, she brings her dog Mimosa. By the way, I hated the way Brittany's hat was sitting on her head. It was really ill-fitting and weird. Like, why was it baggy in the front? Like, I don't know what this hat was supposed to be. You remember how, like, Mary J. Blige used to wear those hats? Like, it had a brim, but it kind of had, like, some bulk, some puffy. I don't know what the name of this hat is called, but it, like, expands every which way. This hat was not like this. It looked like a snapback, but then it looked baggy in the front. I said, where'd you get a baggy Fendi snapback from? Anyway, Brittany has a new confessional. She does look nice. Brittany's a pretty woman, okay? She looks nice, but she does look like she's going to a funeral. And I do wish that she had something around her neck, because the neck was completely bare. So, Kelly, you are buying your daughter 17 designer purses and throwing your dog this big party, but you're not paying that rent down to the Waffle House that you got? Next up, we have Porsha at, I don't know whose house she is at. Let's just say she's at Lauren's house. I'm sure one of y'all will get down in the comments and correct me, which is fine. Porsha walks in this house with this cute little puppy. She says that she wants to give this essentially like an emotional support puppy to Pilar because she thinks that Pilar can sense that her energy is down. Pilar needs to be in therapy. Pilar needs to be in therapy, okay? After what you put her through, introducing her to this man who was scamming and frauding and ripping and running the streets since the 80s, Pilar is going to need a piece of therapy, okay? Now, she hands Pilar this puppy, and Pilar looks absolutely miserable to me. So many times I see this baby, she looks kind of melancholy. Is it just me? She's such a cute baby, though. Y'all know Pilar is my girl, okay? Porsha is telling her mother and sister that she got a phone call that Drew and Dennis are filming. I'm so tired of talking about this because we know that whoever called her was really production telling her whatever. Fine. Porsha says that she is not in a friendly place with Dennis right now. Just put a pin in that. Put a pin in the fact that she said that they're not in a good space right now. Because remember in the last episode, she said that she was going to have that smoke for Dennis and it really wasn't about Drew. Miss Diane is saying, I can't defend Dennis anymore. So him making an album and filming with another housewife was a deal breaker for you, Miss Diane, but not him cheating on your daughter while she was pregnant. Porsha is telling the story about Angela to her sister and mother and saying that Angela approached her and said, oh, you said something about my husband? And she says, I don't remember saying that. Okay, so first, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything, actually. First two lies, okay? Next up, we have Shamia meeting up with her former surrogate, who is introducing her to her new surrogate. Now, this new surrogate, she's a young woman. She is African. She looks very young. The girl was looking like she was 18, 19, 20 the most. She looked very young and she looked like she needed that money. And it's no shade. Now, I do wonder, what is the going rate for a surrogate? How much are they paying her? And it's like, are y'all throwing a little extra on top of it because y'all got a lot of money? If you got a $9 million home, I expect you to put a little bit more respect on it. I don't even know. Wait, hold on. Let me see how much do surrogates get paid? Typically, as a first-time surrogate, you can earn a total compensation of $55,000 to $65,000 with added benefits and payments on top of the base compensation of $35,000. Your base compensation will depend on where you live and whether or not you have insurance, bitch. Okay, in my area, the starting price is $61K. Become a surrogate mother up to $125. So I'm seeing different things. Earn $75K to $120. I would think that it would start at around $100K because $55K ain't shit. $35K ain't shit. $35K is crazy. That's what somebody would make in a year at just like a regular, I don't know, $15 an hour job. That's crazy. I hope they're paying that lady well. So Shamia says that you can't control fate or destiny and you can't play God. It seems to me that you are playing God though. If y'all lost 4 boys already and you're going in and trying for the 5th, then you are definitely playing God. Now, I didn't mention this before, but I do find it interesting that Shamia's husband is African. He's Kenyan. So having studied African traditional religions for a few years, I would say I started like around 2017. I'm just shocked that you have a husband that comes from the tradition, but y'all haven't gone to see the lady yet. Because it's my personal theory that if y'all had went to see the lady, she would have given y'all a prescription. It would have been like, eat yam every Tuesday. Take this tea. Take this bath for 11 days. Oh, I don't know what it is. Whatever the lady would have told y'all. But you would have got a herbal tea and whatever else, y'all would have had to do to have this baby. And y'all could have been had y'all little boy. That's what it gives me for real. All this Western medicine, fucking up your body, fucking up your hormones, girl. It's just so interesting seeing people so disconnected from their own traditions. Now, I know that colonization has done a number on my people, so I get that part, but this is just sad. Shamia is saying, God, if you can hear me, then don't let anything happen to this baby again. It happened 4 times already. When are you going to get the message from God? God is trying to tell you something right now, right now, right now, right now. God is trying to tell you something, mama. God has already spoken, it seems to me. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but if you lost 4 boys, God is trying to tell you to adopt maybe, but y'all not trying to hear it. So then we have Angela in the gym with Charles. He is helping her work out. She's saying that she said that he works out every day. Is it good to work out every day? Maybe he doesn't do the same level of workout every day, but the body is supposed to rest on certain days, right? Anyway, so we have Angela in the gym. He's helping her with her workout. She's saying, I tried to call you, and he says, I was in Tampa. What happened? Angela, I thought last week you said that you was on the phone with your man when you heard the ladies talking about you. Y'all see how Angela lies? In her interview on the radio station, she says that Charles getting kicked out of MSG was not the reason that she and Charles broke up. But then on the show, she said that it was the reason. Anyway, like I said before to Angela, you ain't got to lie to kick it. All you got to say is, I was listening to what the ladies had to say because I knew they was going to be talking about me. That's it. Like, just be a real bitch. Yeah, I was listening by the window. You was not on the phone with that man when you overheard those ladies talking. Angela is saying, well, I invited Drew to Porsha's party. And Charles is like, well, why would you do that? Valid question. Now, she can't say I was doing what production told me to do because we're not breaking the 4th wall in that way, right? But it was a choice to do that. Even if production did tell you to do that, it was still a choice. Angela is telling Charles, well, that's something that you would do. And Charles is like, no, I wouldn't. And then she tells Charles, well, I asked, why did you take that lady's husband? And Charles is saying, well, that had nothing to do with you. You might have been wrong for asking her that. And he's not wrong because in the moment she did change the subject out of nowhere when they were talking about, well, why did you invite Drew? And it's like, well, why am I the only one being held accountable? No, if we're talking about you, let's address you. And then we can address Porsha in another conversation. But if you're going to be taking digs at Porsha, expect to get it back. And you got to be able to sit there and take it. You can't get up and run away the next morning after you already came for that lady's husband. right? Which was a sham of a marriage, fine, but like, you're gonna get it back. Like, this is a game of ping pong. You don't run away. As much as I call Sheree a flop and I drag Sheree never ran from a scene. Sheree never backed down from anybody. Never. That's the one thing I respect about that bitch. Sheree was letting them motherfuckers have it. Even if she was wrong, she let them have it. Anyway, so Angela, you know, this question of whether or not he's messing around with some girl in New York, you see how he shrugged his shoulder and just, I said, oh, wow. So he didn't deny it. Did y'all peep in the confessional when Angela said sometimes she'll ask Charles a question just to see what the haters say? That means that he's your biggest hater. That means he's your op, sis. That means you're sleeping with the enemy. And I know that you are joking, but I think that there is truth in jest. In this situation, yikes. Angela is saying, now I'm about to go to war. And he's like, well, show them that West Side Chicago. On one hand, I like a man who's with the shits, but given the context of this conversation, they would be fighting over what Porsha said about her man, which is kind of like fighting over a man, which I do not advocate for, okay? In the next scene, we have Dennis and Porsha meeting up at, I don't know whose house this was either. Let's just say it was Miss Diane, okay? They have hired an au pair. Then Dennis joins Porsha in the confessional, and where was the smoke for Dennis that she was supposed to have? Because she's sitting there smiling in his face. She is a smitten kitten, honey. He's smiling in her face. I have to say that I think that Dennis and Porsha look really cute together. They have really cute chemistry. Clearly, they have been dealing with each other, but I just wish that Porsha would be a real bitch and say that. She had this lady come to Lauren's house only to take her back to her house. Had her suitcase with her and everything, and, you know, I'm like, all right, Porsha. So Porsha sits down and she wants to talk with Dennis. Now, of course, she brings up Drew again. Like, it's like you're dragging it at this point. Like, I'm so tired of talking about this. Anyway, so she brings up Drew again and she says, I get the news that you filmed. Dennis says that Drew is not even signed to me anymore. You scared her away. And then Porsha says, remember when you told me that Drew tried to sleep with you? And then she looks through his phone and pulls up a random text. And the text says, all you had to do was say yeah. We get no other context outside of that one line that she read. I would have to see the text before that to get the context of the information that she's giving, right? Porsha just throws out a random lie. She just scrolled through the phone, picked the text, and read it and said, you said that she wants to sleep with you. What? Even Dennis is like, you're reading a lot into that. You're not giving proper context for what that text actually is. Porsha lies and it don't even make sense. She keeps spreading these rumors about Drew wanting to sleep with Dennis, about Drew potentially giving Dennis head because her friend threw it out. And then she kind of went along with it in her confessional, like, oh, Dennis always says, oh, she just gave me head. She just gave me head. And it's like, something is really wrong with this lady for real. And remember at the beginning of the season, she wanted to tell us that she didn't care if Drew and Dennis were sleeping together. So which one is it? Because you seem like you care. Girl, how many episodes in are we? 8? We're 9 episodes in. Hold on, let me just double check. 9 episodes in, and Porsha is still talking about this lady. Next up, we have Britt at her mother's house. So it's she, her mother, her sister, and her grandmother, Cher. Is Cher the old? I can't remember what order she's in. I think Cher is 3 years older than her. Britt is the youngest, right? And then the sister she called on FaceTime is the middle child. Anyway, she and her sister are packing up. You know, they're packing up the house. So Brittany's mother is selling her house. And I'm a little confused as to why. This is supposed to be a house that's a safe haven for the family. This is the house that you raise your kids in. So she's going to live with Brittany for a little while to help her take care of the baby that Brittany's supposed to be having for a couple of years. And then she's going to go and live where? And then on top of that, If you have been living in a house for a certain amount of time, is it like, I would imagine that it's either paid off or like it's very close to being paid off. I don't understand this. I feel like we're not getting the full story. Cher and the mother are in the kitchen. They start yelling at each other back and forth. I'm like, whoa, where did this come from? Maybe they was cutting up. Call the sister up and Cher jumps on the phone. Okay, and immediately starts yelling and crying, talking about you don't call me and how it's not fair. Baby, when I tell you the sister on that phone looks so unbothered while Cher is screaming and crying. No shade to Cher, but it seems like she's a little unstable. And then she had the nerve to be asking her mother, where's the alcohol at? You don't need a drink. Because I don't know if she was drinking, before she got there. You didn't need any alcohol, Miss Thing. The grandmother starts dragging them. She told them to stop all that hooting and hollering in this damn house. Next up, we have the ladies meeting up at Cynthia's house for the Bailey Q. So Cynthia hired a prophet, okay? Brittany has a new business. She says it's called Bare and Naked. So I guess it's supposed to be some type of a shapewear line. Now, here's the thing. Here's how I know you're not about your business. You talked about this on the show a year ago. This was filmed a year ago. You should have had this shit up and running. So by the time these episodes dropped, the girls would have been clicking on that link already and giving reviews on your product and saying, oh, I'm wearing Brittany shape, I'm wearing Bare Naked, whatever. But you ain't got your business in order. Kelly comes in being loud. Angela walked in. She had on all yellow. Now, of course, she is playing into this, oh, y'all call me Big Bird, I'ma wear all yellow. Not only is yellow a power color for Angela, but her face looked so pretty and soft and the hair was everything. I also thought that Brittany looked really nice in this olive green dress. It was really pretty. So this prophet is giving her energy reading to the ladies, and it just gives me that Cynthia gave her the rundown on everything that was happening, because it seems like she just regurgitated what has already happened to the ladies. Porsha comes in and Angela says that Porsha gets nothing from me until we address Nashville. So the prophet pretty much says something to Angela about like you need to spice up your life, spice up things with your husband. Obviously this information was fed to her, right? Then Brittany says to Angela, well, the prophet was probably spot on for you. And Angela is asking her, well, do you have a problem with me? Brittany says, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Boring, yawning, sloppy, lazy.
I said, why are you using Medea lines? Actually, Chris Tucker said it first. Why are you using Medea lines on Housewives? This is the place and the space where the girls are witty and clever and they come up with their own one-liners that are cemented in history. Baby, when I tell you, Nene is probably one of the most quoted people like on reality TV, period. We are still recycling and using all of Nene's reads and comebacks and quips and quotables from all of the years. She has given us so much, even in just her first season. This is your first season. We should have gotten at least 2 good one-liners from you, and we have gotten nothing. We got regurgitated lines that you use from Kenya. We got somebody else's line and read that she used. Now you're using Medea reads and lines? Girl, pack her up. She's done. Stick a fork in her. She's done. I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. She is so corny. Oh my God. Ew. Brittany tells Angela that she needs to use her mouth more, and Angela says, not as much as you. You got stretch marks around your mouth.
She's mother right now.
And Brittany stands up and says, where? Point them out. First of all, why are you always standing up and getting loud with folks? Because where I'm from, when you stand up and you start doing all that, it means you want to fight. You threaten somebody with pistols and whips, snarling and barking in people's faces. And then you want to get up like you want to fight. Her energy is just very hostile. Like, girl, it's just a moment of some back and forth mouth tussling. It's shade. This is how this show goes. You need to use your mouth. You need to be smarter to be on this show. You need to be quick. You need to be witty. You need to be on your feet. You need to be ready for these girls, right? But you're not ready for these girls. Let this be her last season. Brittany, sit your ass down. And then her telling Angela, show me where the stretch marks are. It was a joke. It was a read. She's not saying that you literally have stretch marks around your mouth. She was just coming for you. It was a witty way of saying your mouth stays open. Oh, get her off. I don't want to see her anymore. Please get her off. And then Angela calls Brittany a whore. I said, not a whore, honey. Then Brittany is saying, does the world know about that baby? And then Kelly jumps in being loud. What about that baby though? Kelly, shut up, girl. Because why are you being loud and just repeating stuff? Adding nothing to the conversation but just being loud as hell. Kelly is starting to work my nerves real bad. And I like Kelly and I'm rooting for her and everything like that. But girl, you working my nerves. Cynthia is asking them a bunch of trivia questions about Black history. And Porsha answers one of the questions wrong. And she says, I have never been so wrong and loud in my life. And production plays a clip of her saying that the Underground Railroad was an actual train. Porsha thought that Harriet Tubman was like, all aboard! Woo, woo. What a moment. What a moment. Okay, shout out to Porsha. Then Porsha and Angela sit down to hash things out. Porsha denies to Angela that she said that she would sleep with her husband. Then in the confessional, she says, it was a stupid comment. I shouldn't have made it. And then she says, well, maybe I should have made it. I was just kikiing with my friends. So first you didn't say anything. Then you don't remember saying it. You tell her again you didn't say it. And then, oh, well, it was just a stupid comment. I was just having a kiki with my friends. Then it was, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Girl, what? Get down in the comments with me and let me know, like, is this the type of thing that, when you kiki with your homegirls, do y'all threaten to fuck people's husbands? I'm just curious. Is that something people do? Like Spill It Boy TV said, I like my hoes honest. I just want the girls to own the things that they say. If you're going to be bold enough to say it, you should just be able to say, yeah, I said it. Just be a real bitch. And then Shamia sit down and have a conversation. And she says, I want to clarify, the text that you sent. She wanted some closure on it. And Angela says, well, I was looking to you as the married woman to check your best friend. Now, I personally don't feel like anybody can check somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, only you can hold your own self accountable. But I get what she's saying about, like, you're the married woman. Like, why are you okay with that? Shamia, if you're okay with that and how your friend conducts herself, people are going to be looking at you crazy. But also, when people start throwing out shit about your husband, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. I get that she and Porsha were beefing at that moment. Like, I totally get that. But, girl, Shamia is saying, it's not my fight. And, y'all were going at it. And that's all fine and well, once again. But when somebody starts talking about your husband, then it is what it is. But that was the episode, y'all. Go ahead and get down in the comments with me. Let me know how you felt about this one. I want to hear from you. We did get a little piece of a mid-season trailer. I thought that it looked good. I am really looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm just not looking forward to Phaedra coming back. Because it's like, how y'all get rid of Kenya and then replace her with the person who started a rumor about somebody wanting to drug and R-word somebody?
You out your fucking mind.
That was the episode, y'all. Once again, go ahead and get down in the comments with me. Let me know how you felt about this one. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button on your way out. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting. And I will see y'all for the next one. Peace.
Question is what I do with